Mr. Lawson recognized William Reeves the moment he walked in. For 15 years, the old man came monthly to check on Mary's plot. Today, he had no premonition of disaster.
Afternoon, Mr. Lawson. Just verifying plot 47B is still in my name. With the new year, I like to check.
Mr. Reeves, the plot was transferred 3 weeks ago. I have the paperwork right here. William's hand hovered over the counter. Lawson slid a single sheet toward him. The world narrowed to that paper.
Transferred? I never signed anything. That plot was my place beside Mary. Who bought it?
At the bottom, a name that froze his blood solid. New owner, Gloria Harkness.
Gloria Harkness. Derek's mother. Linda sold my plot to her boyfriend's mother. The betrayal hit like a physical blow. This was Linda, wasn't it? My own daughter put her signature on this paper and stole my grave.
Yes, sir. Linda Reeves filed the transfer. I assumed it was a family decision. I am so sorry. William didn't answer. He just stared at that name until the letters bled together. Somewhere across town, his own daughter had sold him out, and he hadn't yet spoken a word to her. William drove home in a trance. Inside, he bypassed the kitchen and went straight to the mantel.
They took my plot, Mary, right next to you. I can barely say it out loud.
He carried the photo to his armchair and sank into the cushions. Dusk crept through the windows.
That grave was the last promise I ever made to her, and Linda ripped it up for cash. I am going to find out why, Mary. I swear, I won't let this stand.
In the growing darkness, he grabbed his keys from the hook. The jingle sounded like a verdict.
No more waiting. She's going to look me in the eye and explain.
William parked across from Linda's house. The lights were on, but he sat staring at the dashboard.
She owes me this conversation, even if it breaks everything.
He sat, gripping the steering wheel, staring at the front door. One breath, then he'd walk in and demand the truth. William stepped out of the car and walked toward the front door. The short path felt like a mile. Inside, he found Linda at the kitchen counter, a coffee mug warming her hands. She looked up, startled.
I just came from the cemetery. Care to explain why my burial plot now belongs to Derek's mother?
Dad, I needed the money. You are not using it. You are healthy as a horse. It's not like you are dying.
That plot was my place beside your mother. You sold it like a used car.
I said I needed cash. Why is that so hard to understand? You are always so dramatic.
Who got the money? Look at me.
She sipped her coffee and stared out the window. Outside, a lawnmower droned, filling the silence.
I'll find out myself. When I do, you won't be able to hide behind coffee mugs.
He walked out without looking back. The gravel crunched under his shoes as he returned to the car, certain there was more. Back home, William went straight to the filing cabinet. He pulled out the Memorial Fund folder with trembling hands. The latest statement lay on top. He unfolded it and read the line that made his chest hollow. Balance 0.000.
She took the burial plot, and now the Memorial Fund. What else did she steal?
He called the bank, gripping the receiver so hard his knuckles whitened. The customer service agent confirmed the transactions. Every withdrawal last month went into Linda Reeves's checking account. The fund was empty.
She cleaned it out. Every cent that was supposed to honor her own mother's memory.
He hung up and stood motionless in the middle of the kitchen. The refrigerator hummed, filling the silence.
She didn't need money. She wanted it. There's a difference, and that difference just broke everything. She stole from her mother's grave. The plot and the fund, both gone.
He slumped at the kitchen table, the zero balance statement pinned under his fist. For a long moment, he didn't move. He didn't stay at the table. He grabbed his keys and drove to the hardware store where Derek worked. Derek was leaning against his car, with a sandwich. When he saw William, he straightened like a man caught.
We need to talk about how your mother ended up with my burial plot.
Look, Linda said you weren't using it. My mom needed a place. I didn't think it was a big deal.
And Mary's memorial fund. Did you help Linda drain that too?
Fund? I don't know anything about a fund. I swear.
Derek's face lost color. He fumbled with his keys, then hurried to his car without another word. William stood on the curb as the sedan sped out of the lot. The dust settled, but his rage didn't.
He knows more than he's saying. And Gloria, I'll have to find her myself.
He got back into his car, a fresh determination hardening. The trail led to Gloria Harkness. William spotted Gloria Harkness at a corner table, a cappuccino half drunk before her.
Mrs. Harkness, I understand you bought a burial plot. I need to see the paperwork.
It's all legal, Mr. Reeves. I've got the deed right here.
That plot is beside my wife's grave. You know what that means to an old man.
Sentiment doesn't change ownership. Your daughter signed it over. It's mine.
She folded the deed and tucked it into her purse, her expression ice cold.
She's not a grieving widow. She's a vulture who bought my grave.
If you want to fight it, hire a lawyer. Until then, stay out of my life.
Without another word, William turned and walked out of the cafe, the doorbell chiming behind him. Outside, he leaned against his car, his voice a whisper. I'll need a lawyer, a good one. William drove home in silence and headed straight for the bedroom closet. He pulled down the old metal safe box, key still in its hiding spot. Inside, beneath stacks of yellowed papers, he found the original cemetery contract, the ink still sharp.
15 years ago, Mary made him add a clause. He'd almost forgotten, but now it's surfaced.
He grabbed a magnifying glass from the desk drawer and scanned the fine print. One line stopped his heart. Plot 47B is non-transferable and reserved exclusively for William Reeves and his lawful spouse, Mary. He slapped the table so hard a spoon jumped. The sound echoed through the empty kitchen.
This changes everything. The sale was never legal. They can't keep it.
He grabbed his phone from the charger and dialed Sarah Lang, an old family friend and attorney.
Sarah, it's William. My daughter sold my burial plot beside Mary. I need a lawyer.
Sarah listened, then said firmly, I'll see you at 9 tomorrow. Bring everything. A fragile hope flickered. The next morning, William walked into Sarah Lang's office, clutching a manila envelope.
William, sit down. Show me everything.
Sarah spread the papers across the desk, reading each one with a sharp, practiced eye.
This transfer form. The signature doesn't match yours. Linda forged it. That's fraud.
She pointed at the bank records. The memorial fund was accessed through unauthorized withdrawals, clear-cut theft.
We file small claims for the fund and a civil suit for the plot. The non-transferable clause seals it.
She drafted a complaint while William watched, his stomach knotting with every pen stroke.
Suing my own daughter. Mary would have wept.
William, honoring Mary sometimes means doing the hardest thing. She'd want you to fight.
William took the papers, hands trembling. I need a day. I'll sign, but not today. William didn't go home. He drove straight to Linda's house, the folder of evidence heavy on the passenger seat. He found her in the kitchen, same coffee mug, same defensive posture. The air thickened.
I have more than the plot now. The memorial fund is empty, and your signature is on every withdrawal.
He tossed the bank statements and the cemetery contract onto the counter. The papers fanned out like accusations.
Dad, it wasn't like that. Derek needed money for his mother's cancer treatment. I only took a loan. I swear I didn't know it was a memorial fund. I'll pay it back, every penny. Please don't sue me.
That money was for your mother's memory. You spent it on yourself. I saw the bank records.
Please, Dad, you can't do this to me. I am your daughter.
For a moment, he almost believed her tears. but the zero balance on the statement stared back at him, unblinking.
He picked up the papers, his voice breaking. "I can't trust you, Linda." Then he walked out, leaving her sobbing against the counter. The next morning, William walked into Sarah's office with a calm that scared him. No hesitation this time.
"I am ready, Sarah. File everything. I won't let them take Mary's place from me."
Sarah placed the complaint before him. William signed, the pen carving his name into justice. She filed the small claim suit electronically. The printer hummed out a confirmation. It felt like a declaration. 3 days later, Sarah called. William rushed back to her office, his pulse a drumbeat.
The cemetery's legal team admitted the error. The non-transferable clause should have blocked the sale.
She handed him a formal apology from Mr. Lawson, pledging to freeze any further action on the plot. The letter read, "Evergreen Memorial Park will not further transfer Plot 47B pending legal resolution. We deeply regret the oversight."
A crack of light. Maybe this nightmare will actually end the way Mary would have wanted.
He pulled Mary's photo from his inner pocket and placed it on Sarah's desk. "I am doing this for you." That night, a hammering at the front door shattered the silence. William opened it to find Linda's red-rimmed eyes. Behind her, Derek shifted his weight. A car idled on the curb, Gloria watching through the windshield.
So you are suing your own daughter over a patch of dirt? You are a monster.
You sold my grave. You stole your mother's memorial fund. I am just demanding back what's ours.
William, my mom's health was failing. Linda only meant to help.
Don't. You knew about the plot. You didn't stop her. You are part of this.
You are dead to me. You hear that? Dead.
You were dead to me the moment you sold my place beside Mary. Now get off my porch.
In the car, Gloria leaned back, but her smirk had vanished. She looked away, pulling at her bracelet. William shut the door, locked it, and pressed his back against the wood. His breath came in ragged gasps. In the days before the hearing, William practiced his testimony with Sarah until the words felt like cold stones in his mouth. She coached him to keep his voice steady. But every time he rehearsed, he heard Mary's quiet reproach in his head.
If she were here, she'd say, "William, why are you doing this to our girl?" And I'd have no easy answer.
But the answer was in the zero balance, in Gloria's smirk, in the forged signature. He had to do it. The night before court, he couldn't sleep. At 2 a.m, he drove to Evergreen Memorial Park. The gate was open. He walked the familiar path to Mary's plot, the ground soft beneath his feet.
They tried to take my place beside you. I won't let them. Tomorrow I fight.
He knelt and touched the grass of the empty plot, imagining himself lying there one day, close to her.
I am not doing this for anger. I am doing it for us, for the promise I made.
As dawn broke, he stood up, eyes dry and clear. He was ready to face whatever the courtroom brought. William and Sarah arrived at the county courthouse just after 9. The stone steps felt like a final ascent under an overcast sky. Inside, the small claims courtroom was plain, wooden benches, harsh fluorescent light. Linda already sat at the defendant's table, Derek beside her. Linda refused to meet his eyes. Derek shifted next to her, staring at the floor, his face drawn tight. Gloria sat in the back row, arms crossed, her burgundy coat a splash of defiance in the drab room, a cold gaze fixed ahead. The bailiff called the session to order. The gavel cracked like a warning shot, demanding silence. The judge entered, her black robe sweeping the floor. Everyone rose, a collective held breath filling the room. William's hand moved to his chest, feeling the outline of Mary's photo. It steadied him.
You got this, William. Just tell the truth.
William took his seat at the plaintiff's table, his pulse a steady, determined drum. The trial was about to begin. He was ready. Sarah called William to the stand. He walked forward, his steps echoing on the worn floor. He swore the oath. His voice held steady as he recalled buying the plot 15 years ago, a promise to lie beside Mary.
I purchased both plots the week she was diagnosed. I told her we'd never be separated, not even in death.
Sarah handed him the original contract. He pulled out his magnifying glass and read the non-transferable clause aloud.
Plot 47B is non-transferable and reserved exclusively for William Reeves and his lawful spouse, Mary.
Then he described opening the memorial fund statement. The number 0, how his chest felt hollow. The courtroom fell silent. Even Gloria uncrossed her arms, shifting in her seat. Under cross-examination, Linda's representative asked if he regretted suing his own daughter.
She's my daughter, but she stole from her own mother's grave. I owe this to Mary.
The judge called a brief recess. William stepped down, knees unsteady, but his soul felt lighter. The recess ended. Linda Reeves was called to the stand. Her heels clicked against the floor, each step heavy with reluctance. She swore the oath, her voice thin as paper. Then she began, framing herself as a victim of Derek's pressure.
Derek said he needed the money for his mom's medical bills. I only wanted to help. I never meant to hurt Dad.
You claim hardship, but the bank records show you made a down payment on a new car the week after the fund emptied.
Linda's face lost color. She looked toward Derek, but he was staring at the floor. The lie was collapsing.
I paid off my credit cards too. I was desperate. Mom would have understood.
Did you forge your father's signature on the cemetery transfer documents?
A long silence. The courtroom held its breath. Then Linda's mouth opened, a whisper.
Yes, I signed it.
William buried his face in his hands. The last fragile hope of his daughter's innocence died in that moment. Linda stepped down, her sobs swallowed by the heavy silence. Sarah rose for her closing, the contract held high.
Your Honor, this isn't about a patch of dirt. It's about a man's right to keep a final promise to his wife.
She laid out every piece of evidence, the forged signature, the drained fund, the cold greed. Then she asked for the plot's return and an irrevocable directive. Mary Reeves' memory deserves a guardian, not a grave robber. We request full restitution of the memorial fund and a permanent order protecting Plot 47B. Linda's representative made a thin plea for mercy, citing emotional duress. The words barely filled the room. The judge placed the gavel down softly. I will take this matter under advisement, ruling in 7 days.
William, we've won this. The contract is ironclad. She'll rule in your favor.
William nodded, but his eyes stayed somewhere far away. He felt hollow, too drained to reach for hope. He drove home in silence, the courthouse shrinking in the rearview mirror, a week of waiting stretching ahead. The house was quiet. He sat in his armchair, Mary's photo on the side table, and waited for the phone to ring. Every morning that week, William drove to Evergreen Memorial Park. He stood by Mary's grave, the empty plot beside it a raw wound.
I am trying to be patient, Mary. The judge has all the evidence. I just need a little more strength.
One afternoon, his phone buzzed. A text from Linda. Dad, please, I am sorry. Can we talk? He stared at the screen for a long moment. Then he deleted it without replying. The tea beside him had gone cold. On the 4th day, Sarah called. Her voice carried a rare lightness. Gloria Harkness had voluntarily nullified the transfer. The legal pressure was too great.
One victory. But the judge still holds the final word. I can't celebrate yet.
Nights were the worst. He roamed the dark kitchen, replaying the Tar-Kitri trial in his head, the refrigerator humming the only response. The morning of the ruling, he dressed in his best dark sweater, the one he'd worn to Mary's funeral. He sat by the phone, hands folded, the house utterly silent. The waiting felt like a held breath that could shatter him. The phone rang at 9 sharp. Sarah's voice was steady, but William could hear the triumph beneath. It's done. Come now. He drove without memory of the route. Soon he stood in the courtroom, Linda across the aisle, Gloria rigid in the back. The judge entered. The gavel, a single sharp crack. She held a paper that could end everything. She read the findings: forged signature, illegal transfer, the non-transferable clause clear as daylight. The transfer to Gloria Harkness is void. Plot 47B belongs to William Reeves, irrevocably. Linda Reeves must repay the memorial fund, $12,400, plus $5,000 in damages. The court grants an irrevocable burial directive. No one may ever transfer Plot 47B again. A single tear slid down William's cheek. The tension drained from his shoulders, leaving only a hollow ache. Linda's sobs echoed. Gloria stared ahead, her lips a thin line, her victory stolen. William took the signed order from Sarah's hands, the paper heavier than the grief he'd carried. He walked out into a different world. William and Sarah walked out the courthouse doors into a wash of brilliant sunshine. The weight he'd carried for weeks seemed to lift slightly. She pressed the filed documents into his hands, the irrevocable directive and the signed order, embossed with the court seal.
Thank you, Sarah. You gave me back the one thing that mattered. My place beside Mary.
You did it, William. She'd be proud. Now go make your peace.
Footsteps pounded behind them. Linda's voice cracked through the air. Daddy, please. I am sorry. Don't leave me like this. William halted for a heartbeat. Then he continued forward, his back a wall of silence. Derek grabbed her shoulders, his face pale with shame. She collapsed into his arms, her sobs echoing off the stone. William slid into the driver's seat, laying the envelope on the passenger side, the documents that made his victory legal and permanent. He pulled away, the courthouse growing small in the rearview mirror. The streets smeared past, but his gaze was fixed ahead. His hand rested on the envelope. Now there was only one place left to go. The car rolled to a stop at Evergreen Memorial Park. William stepped out, the bouquet of red roses heavy in his hand. He walked the familiar path, the gravel crunching beneath his shoes. The world was silent, holding its breath. At Mary's grave he stopped. Fresh soil lay on the empty plot beside her, and a new metal stake caught the golden light. He knelt and read the engraving, William Reeves, Reserves in Perpetuity. A sob caught in his throat. He laid the roses on Mary's headstone, his fingers tracing her name. Then he placed his palm flat on the stake beside her.
It's done, Mary. The plot is ours again. No one can ever separate us now. I fought for us. I'll lie beside you one day, just like I promised.
The tears came then, not of grief, but of release. He wept into the grass, his shoulders shaking with years of longing. When he stilled, the air felt lighter. He touched the stake one last time, then pushed himself up. William walked back along the path, the sunset painting the sky with hues of lavender and gold. His step was lighter. Back home, William placed the irrevocable directive beside his old will. Linda's name had to be struck from every page.
She tried to steal my final rest. She won't be trusted with it ever again.
He wrote in a firm hand, all funeral arrangements shall be executed without the participation of Linda Reeves. The next morning, he carried the documents to Sarah's office. His step was steady, a man with nothing left to lose.
You are really closing the door completely, aren't you? She won't be able to set foot near your service.
William nodded, taking the pen. He signed the updated will, his signature sharp and final. Sarah placed the document in a metal cabinet drawer and turned the key with a heavy click.
It's airtight now. No one can touch your burial arrangements, not even Linda, just as you wanted.
It wasn't revenge. It was protection. The last gift he could give Mary.
That evening, he placed the signed will beside Mary's photo. The lamp cast a warm glow on the stillness. A week later, the morning was warm and the rose bushes Mary planted were in full bloom. William stood among them, the watering can heavy in his hand, droplets catching the sunlight.
She'd loved these roses. Every petal was a piece of her.
He set the can down and broke off a spent bloom, his thumb gentle on the stem.
The garden was thriving. So was he, in his own quiet way.
He touched his wedding ring, still worn, still bright.
I'll be there soon, Mary. Our spot is safe. I made sure of it.
A brief, contented smile crossed his lips. He lifted his face to the sun, feeling its warmth seep into his bones. The camera pulls back. The small house with its garden, a place of quiet dignity, fade to black.